Inflation is hitting Americans hard. Prices are soaring, and the cost of living is becoming unbearable for many. From the grocery store to the gas station, every aspect of daily life is affected. Families are feeling the pinch as they try to stretch their dollars further than ever before. The rising prices are not just numbers on a receipt. They represent real struggles and sacrifices that people are making every day. Families struggle to afford basic necessities. The cost of food has skyrocketed, making it difficult for parents to provide nutritious meals for their children. In supermarkets, shoppers are forced to make tough decisions about what they can afford to buy. The sight of empty refrigerators is becoming all too common, a stark reminder of the financial strain that many households are under. Groceries, gas, and housing costs have skyrocketed. Wages haven't kept up. While the prices of essential goods and services continue to climb, incomes remain stagnant. This growing disparity is putting immense pressure on families who are finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet. The dream of owning a home or even affording rent is slipping out of reach for many. This leaves many families struggling to make ends meet. The kitchen table has become a place of stress and worry as parents pore over bills and try to figure out how to pay them. The constant juggling of finances is taking a toll on family life, with parents often having to make difficult choices about what to prioritize. The American dream is slipping out of reach for many. The situation is dire. Families who once aspired to own their own homes are now facing the harsh reality of having to sell or downsize. The stress of financial instability is palpable, and the hope for a better future is fading. Job insecurity adds another layer of anxiety as people search for stable employment in an uncertain economy. Families are forced to make tough choices. In the face of rising costs, many are cutting back on essentials. Parents are having to decide between buying groceries or paying for other necessities. The sight of families removing items from their shopping carts is a common one as they try to stay within their limited budgets. Thrift stores are seeing an increase in customers as people look for more affordable options. They cut back on essentials. Some even skip meals. The impact of inflation is felt most acutely at the dinner table, where families are having to make do with less. Parents are often skipping meals to ensure their children have enough to eat. The worry and stress are evident in their faces as they watch their children eat, knowing that they themselves will go hungry. The stress and anxiety are taking a toll. The constant financial pressure is leading to increased stress and anxiety among families. Arguments over bills and money are becoming more frequent, and the emotional strain is affecting relationships. The mental health impact of financial insecurity cannot be underestimated as people struggle to cope with the relentless pressure. This is the harsh reality for millions of Americans. The lines at food banks and social services offices are growing longer as more people seek assistance. The sense of despair is palpable as families face an uncertain future. The crushing weight of inflation is a burden that millions of Americans are carrying, and the need for relief is urgent. Credit cards offer a temporary solution. They provide a convenient way to make purchases without needing cash on hand. For many, this convenience is a lifesaver, especially in emergencies or when unexpected expenses arise. However, this convenience can be deceptive. They help cover immediate expenses, allowing families to buy groceries, pay bills, and manage day-to-day costs. This can be particularly helpful for those living paycheck to paycheck, providing a buffer against financial shortfalls. But this short-term relief often leads to long-term problems, but they come at a cost. Interest rates are high, often exceeding 20%. This means that if you don't pay off your balance in full each month, the amount you owe can quickly balloon. The interest compounds, making it harder and harder to get out of debt. Many fall into a debt trap. They start with small balances, but over time these balances grow. The stress of mounting debt can be overwhelming, leading to anxiety and even depression. Cutting up credit cards can be a symbolic gesture, but it doesn't erase the debt already accrued. They struggle to pay off their balances. The debt grows larger. It becomes overwhelming. Late fees and penalties add to the burden, making it feel like there's no way out. This can lead to a cycle of borrowing more just to make minimum payments, digging a deeper hole. Credit card debt is a major problem in America. It's not just an individual issue, it's a societal one. The ease of access to credit has led to widespread financial strain. In bustling cities and quiet towns alike, People are grappling with the consequences of easy credit. Nearly half of all Americans carry a balance. This means millions are paying interest on their purchases month after month. Couples often find themselves arguing over finances, with credit card debt being a common source of tension. It's a pervasive issue that affects relationships and quality of life. The average balance is over $5,000. This staggering amount reflects the broader economic challenges many face. Rising debt levels are a symptom of larger financial instability, and the shock of seeing these numbers can be a wake-up call for many. This debt creates financial stress. It limits opportunities. People with high credit card debt may find it difficult to qualify for loans, buy homes, or even save for retirement. The stress can affect every aspect of life, from personal relationships to career choices. It traps people in a cycle of debt. Breaking free requires discipline, planning, and often professional help. Understanding the risks and managing credit wisely can prevent falling into this trap. It's crucial to be aware of the potential pitfalls and take proactive steps to avoid them. Angela Russell is a single mother from Ohio. She works full-time as a customer service representative for a local company. Every day she juggles her job responsibilities with taking care of her young son, Kenneth. Her days are long and exhausting, often starting before sunrise and ending well past midnight. Despite her hard work and dedication, she struggles to make ends meet. But her salary isn't enough to cover all the bills. The cost of living continues to rise, and Angela finds herself constantly worried about how she will pay for groceries, utilities, and rent. She often skips meals to ensure her son has enough to eat. The stress is taking a toll on her health, both physically and mentally. She relies on credit cards to make ends meet, but the interest rates are high and the debt keeps piling up. Each month she falls deeper into the financial hole, feeling like there's no way out. The constant calls from creditors add to her anxiety, making it hard for her to focus on anything else. Kenneth, a 42-year-old from Alabama, is struggling too. He used to work as a manager at a manufacturing plant, a job he held for over a decade. He was proud of his position and the stability it provided for his family. But everything changed when the pandemic hit. He lost his job during the pandemic, and finding new employment has been a challenge. The job market is tough, and the positions available often don't match his skills or experience. After months of searching, he finally found a job, but it pays significantly less than his previous one. He's working again, but making less money, which means he can't afford the same lifestyle he once had. The pay cut has forced him to make difficult choices, like cutting back on essential expenses and dipping into his savings. The financial strain is immense, and he's constantly worried about how he will support his family. He's racked up credit card debt just to survive, using them to pay for everyday necessities like groceries and gas. The debt is mounting, and the interest rates are crippling. Kenneth feels trapped, unable to see a way out of his financial predicament. He's worried about the future, uncertain if he will ever be able to regain the financial stability he once had. The stress affects his sleep, his relationships, and his overall well-being. He often feels isolated, believing that no one truly understands the depth of his struggles. These are just two stories among millions. Across the country, countless individuals and families are facing similar challenges. The economic impact of the pandemic has been profound, leaving many people in financial distress. It's a reminder of the importance of community support and the need for systemic changes to help those in need. Credit card debt affects all generations, but younger generations are hit particularly hard. They graduate with student loan debt. They enter a tough job market. They face high housing costs. They turn to credit cards to cope. Older generations are also vulnerable. Many seniors live on fixed incomes. Their expenses are rising. They rely on credit cards to cover the gaps. They are burdened with debt in their retirement years. The unseen cost mental and emotional strain. The impact of debt goes beyond finances. It takes a toll on mental and emotional health. Debt causes stress, anxiety, and depression. It strains relationships. It leads to sleepless nights. People in debt often feel ashamed. They isolate themselves. They are afraid to ask for help. The mental and emotional burden of debt is heavy. It's a hidden cost of this crisis. A nation on the brink, economic consequences. High levels of credit card debt have serious consequences for the economy. When consumers are burdened with debt, they spend less. This reduces consumer demand. It slows economic growth. Credit card debt can also lead to increased bankruptcies and defaults. This can destabilize the financial system. It can trigger a recession. The economic well-being of the nation is at risk. Charting a path forward. Policy solutions. Addressing this crisis requires bold action. Policymakers need to address the root causes. Inflation must be controlled. Wages need to grow. Consumer protections need to be strengthened. Investing in education and job training is crucial. This will equip workers with the skills they need for higher-paying jobs. Affordable health care and child care are also essential. These policies will reduce the financial burden on families. Taking control. Practical steps for debt management. Individuals struggling with debt need support. Creating a budget is a crucial first step. This helps track income and expenses. It identifies areas where spending can be reduced. Debt consolidation can simplify payments. Seeking credit counseling can provide guidance and support. Negotiating with creditors can lower interest rates. Taking action is empowering. The American credit crisis demands attention. We need to raise awareness about this issue. We need to talk about it openly. We need to demand solutions. We must educate ourselves about personal finance. We need to teach our children about responsible spending. We need to break the cycle of debt. Together we can create a more financially secure future.